Periscope, all right, Periscope. Woo-hoo, this is weird. I get to look at myself. It's like being in a mirror in this camera. Okay, Periscope up. We are live right now, and I hope you're there. I am going. Hi, Mary Rev. I'm glad you joined me. Thank you. I am going to go back today and talk about. Here's the deal. I want you to go back to the beginning. If you're just new here, if you're following this series, I want you to go back and realize that there's been a whole build up to this whole thing. This is number 11 of 16 of the Brag Right series for 2016. So I'll be doing some more this week and some more next week, and then I'm just going to go be free forming this information. I presume a lot of you know that I do and have done years and years of job search, so I'm going to be referring a lot to that. This has all been the promote thing from the promote book, which there it is, there's a promote book. You can find that on Amazon. Here's the deal. Now that I've been taking you through this whole process, I want you to start thinking about rolling this information out. It doesn't do any good if you've been sourcing this information, thinking about your value, thinking about how you're going to promote yourself professionally, if you don't actually start taking some action on that. I want to go back to a really fundamental point that I brought early on with this presentation, and that's basically you have about 40 years, ouch, about 40 years to make everything happen in your life. Your 40 years is that's basically from the time you kind of finish your trade school, your training, your college, and you start working. You have about 40 years to make things happen. That means investing, buying a house, raising a family, sending your kids to school, all that kind of stuff. Now, admittedly, we are all getting older and we are all working much longer. But I'm going to tell you right now, unquestionably, age discrimination is going to step in at some point when you're 45, 55, 65, and somebody 27 is going to come in and take over your job. And that's not a bad thing. Good for the 27-year-old that can come in and make that happen. But the fact is, there's going to come a time where you're going to be paid too much money for what you're doing, and somebody else can be doing it for less, and it happens all the time, unless, of course, you become the business owner. And that's another post that I'll be doing pretty soon, talking about promoting yourself out of your job, going out and starting your own business, doing the startup thing. But anyway, so you got 40 years to make this happen. And if you're 23 years old now looking forward, well, it looks like a long time. It's not going to be. If you're 45, 55 years old, guess what? If you're 40 years old, you've got about 20 left to go. So you're already halfway done there. So I really want you to make an impact. I want you to get the raise. I want you to get the money. I want you to get the pay. So the point of today is to start going forward. I want you to start communicating this value. I want you to not wait around for the slap on the back. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm looking at my computer. I'm looking at today's blog post. You can see that at rickgillis.com. You can see it on LinkedIn, and of course, we're promoting this on Twitter as well. It may not be easy for a lot of you to go out and tell people about how good you are. I appreciate that. That's fair. And you're taught as children, we also talked about this, not to brag, not to boast. However, you've got to do it. You've got to speak up for yourself. So I'm suggesting that maybe you go out and float some of your best accomplishments you've been thinking about with friends over coffee. Maybe you're having a drink somewhere. Just try some stuff. You might even tell them that you're trying out to see how this would work if you ran into your boss at the water cooler, over lunch, at a conference, if you're talking with the competition, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter. But the point is, I want you to start taking your accomplishments to the street. Take it slow, take it light, but I want you to take them out there. So, this is the easy stuff too. It's like telling somebody, well, I spent an extra 16 hours off the clock working on X project. I just wanted you to know about that, boss. And don't forget, when I've told you this, you're telling your boss and your boss's boss and your boss's boss's boss, because I don't want your boss taking your credit for your work, or more importantly, being afraid to promote you because they're concerned. They see you as the competition, which you should be. So anyway, that's really all I wanted to bring today. Fundamentally, that I want you to understand, I want the powers that be to know, and somebody just got here, Mortal Lit Y, thank you for being here. I want somebody to realize that you are much more than your paycheck. You're worth much more than that, but it's going to be up to you to let them know you are. consistently, professionally, all the time. And like I said, the promote book, that's what it's all about. So I'll be back tomorrow. I forgot what I'm doing tomorrow exactly. Yeah, we're going to talk about all this, the confidence and the poise you've acquired doing all this process, and we'll see where it goes next. Thanks for being here. Periscope down.